Star Wars The Clone Wars has become one of the most beloved and rewatched part of the Star Wars franchise, with it having many amazing connections to different parts of the expanded universe, and building up some really emotional and hard-hitting stories of both the newly introduced and classic characters. In this video, I'll go through some random and little-known facts about every single season, even covering a few things from the movie. So execute Order 66 on the like and subscribe buttons, join the Star Force 1 Discord server, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the movie. This was the first Star Wars movie to ever be released without the iconic opening text scroll, instead featuring only a logo before cutting to the action. The scene where Obi-Wan is confused about Ahsoka not being his Padawan is actually a reference to a real-life conversation between Dave Filoni, Henry Gilroy, one of the main writers of the show, and George Lucas. Dave and I figured out that Anakin was a Jedi Knight very early in the war, so we thought it would be interesting if we gave Obi-Wan a replacement Padawan. But George wanted her to be Anakin's Padawan. The earliest designs of Dooku's apprentice, Asajj Ventress, are actually from Attack of the Clones. She was intended to be Sidious's new dark side student after Maul, but was scrapped in favour of Dooku. There needed to be a threat which was dangerous but not impossible to overcome for the Clone Wars movie, leading to Ventress being brought back in from Legends, this time as a weaker character by being Dooku's apprentice and assassin. Season 1. In the first released episode of the Clone Wars Ambush, we see Yoda go up against Dooku's apprentice Asajj Ventress and countless battle droids. In a book released 12 years after the episode aired, we get to see Yoda's inner thoughts, which reveal that he was still hopeful that Dooku could come back to the Jedi and that the Clone Wars would eventually end peacefully. Also in this episode, we see Commander Thaya, the exact same clone trooper who led the hunt for Yoda following his duel against Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith. In the recently released book, Yoda actually sees into each of the clones' futures, and although he doesn't understand what he sees, he does get some hints of Order 66 and Thaya hunting him down. The remote moon in the first episode takes place on Rugosa, actually used to be an ocean world, hence the protruding coral we see all over the place. Mace shattering the glass of a window with the Force in Liberty on Ryloth was done as a wink to his affinity for finding Shatterpoints in the expanded universe, which was first shown in the appropriately named novel Shatterpoint. In the season's 10th episode, Nadhar Veb, a former Padawan of Plo Koon, was designed by Production IG, a well-known and respected anime studio who in 2021 created The Ninth Jedi, a stylized short part of the Star Wars Visions project. The radio in the Rookies episode mentions the Mudjumpers of the 224th slogging it out on Mimban, which was the setting of the first ever original Star Wars novel, Splinter of the Mind's Eye, which was released way back in 1976. The planet has since appeared on screen in Solo: A Star Wars Story. In the Dooku captured episode, Anakin was caught by Dooku at the beginning of the episode through his ship being used as bait, being disabled and being picked up on an ice field, which is what led to his annoyed interaction with Obi-Wan about being a master of getting caught, Season 2. In the episode Lightsaber Lost, some floating billboards can be seen advertising various things, and one of these things is advertising Star Tours, a fascinating theme park attraction which was designed to take its visitors into the Star Wars universe itself and be inside of the canon at the time, which was the expanded universe. Another one of these floating billboards shows a speech by Palpatine, though despite this, neither Palpatine nor his voice actor were credited at the end of the episode. In a very interesting nod to the fans, one of the data displays in the episode, Cat and Mouse, shows a large portion of an article from the popular Star Wars fan wiki known as Wikipedia, fully translated into Aurebesh. In the episode R2 Come Home, Plo Koon asks Ahsoka if she recognizes the blue astromech, giving off the idea that he himself doesn't recognize R2, despite having met him earlier on in the timeline in Season 1, Episode 2. Embo, the bounty hunter who first appears in episode 17, is voiced by Dave Filoni himself. That's a cool one, I'm sure you guys will love that. Season 3. In the first episode of this season, Clone Cadets, we get our first look at the show's rendition of ARC troopers. These were originally thought up as elite clone troopers who were seen in the 2003 Clone Wars multimedia project. The most famous of these troopers was Alpha 17, a clone heavily resembling Rex, who was intended to be included in the series in place of Rex, but George didn't like the idea of the crossover, and he also thought there were too many A names in the episodes. We would have had Alpha 17, Anakin, and Ahsoka. In the same episode, prior to the final examination of a group of cadets, Commander Colt says to set the challenge to the THX variation 1138, which is a clear reference to George Lucas's first movie, THX 1138. The episode Night Sisters and Monster are the only occurrences of Ventress's Genevex-class Fanblade starfighter appearing in the animated show, though it was heavily used in the other material such as the 2003 Clone Wars series. In the Mortis arc, it was originally planned for the Sun to turn to the two dark side spirits of ancient Sith Lords for guidance, Darth Bane and Darth Revan, two massive figures in the expanded universe's history, and both deeply beloved by the fans. This scene was written, recorded, and entered into the beginning stages of early animation layouts when George scrapped it. It was his original idea, but Dave disagreed with it since seeing Sith Lords achieve what the Jedi could after death might throw off fans and disturb the storyline. After a lot of time to think, George agreed and wanted the scene removed. In the Trandoshan hunt arc, much of the background lore around the Trandoshans was taken from the old school expanded universe, in particular the West End Games manuals. The shotgun wielded in the episodes can first be seen used by them in the video game Republic Commando, and in the trophy room we can see the helmet of a Mandalorian Neo Crusader, something directly taken from the Knights of the Old Republic video game. Season 4. The return of the Maul arc introduces a little red card, the first time that the show's beloved logo had changed colour from its typical yellow. An extended scene intended for the episode Brothers features Savage entering a dinner for quiet contemplation, as his necklace shows him the location of Maul. He gets interrupted by a waitress who he chokes, and when the police are called, he makes a run for it, and in the final release, this is heavily cut down and we never even see what prompted him to choke the waitress. Season 5. In the episode A Test of Strength, we're introduced to Hu Yang, an ancient droid professor who has assisted the Jedi in training younglings for many centuries. He's voiced by David Tennant, also known as the 10th Doctor from Doctor Who, and he won an Emmy for his voice acting skills. He also showed up much later on in the Ahsoka show many years later. The much despised D-Squad arc features the second colour change of the logo in the series, appearing blue instead of yellow. The 3-episode Zygerian slavery arc is a complete comic-to-TV adaptation of the comic arc written in 2008 by Henry Gilroy. During the arc where Ahsoka is wrongfully arrested for Barriss's attack, we see this monument in the background. It's referred to as the Battle Monument, but despite its massive size, it only represents the soldiers lost in the First Battle of Geonosis, the event which started the Clone Wars. It also showed up again later in The Bad Batch. Season 6. This entire season was almost never made, and it was originally meant to be a full 22-episode season, but Disney pulled it from Cartoon Network, and due to this, only 13 episodes were made. Netflix brought the streaming rights to the entire Clone Wars franchise, including the movie and the 6th season, titled The Lost Missions, and made it available for streaming in early 2014, though it was a heavily cut down and abridged version of the fully planned season. In the Inhibitor chip arc, there's a funny looking clone commander named Doom. His entire design, including his name, is based on the comic book villain Dr. Doom. In Anakin's personal quarters, we see a pod racing poster which is promoting an event of Ben Quadranaros vs Sebulba. In this scene, we also see Anakin absent-mindedly playing with a model starfighter, something we also see Luke doing in A New Hope. Like father, like son. In The Disappeared Part 2, the arc featuring Jar Jar and Mace Windu, the script states the heroes ride off like the end of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. This is of course a movie series created by George Lucas, which features Harrison Ford as an adventurous archaeologist looking for ancient treasure. In the arc where Dooku's true identity is revealed, the Jedi discover that the Sith were behind the creation of the clones. We see the Count in a new uniform, and this, believe it or not, was a cost-cutting measure since the episodes already consumed a huge budget thanks to their particle and physics effects such as Bane's appearance and the cloaks of Yoda and Darth Sidious. So Dooku's cape was removed and a new, cheaper outfit was created, since the cape would have taken the project beyond its allowed dollar amount. Season 7. Rook Kast from the Son of Dathomir comic makes her first appearance in animated TV in The Siege of Mandalore, paying off for fans of canon. The title Fulcrum actually first comes into use by Saw Gerrera during his time on Onderon, and this is revealed to us in the Clone Wars Season 7, many years after the original reveal of Ahsoka being Fulcrum in Star Wars Rebels. Kanan Jarrus randomly shows up at a Jedi Council meeting in the Clone Wars Season 7, many years after his appearance in Star Wars Rebels and the Kanan comics. Anakin's passcode to unlock the report about fives is 8108, the premiere date for the Clone Wars movie. So those were some little known facts from all of the seasons of the series. Yes, they were useless, but don't lie, you enjoyed it. Did you find something new? Is there something you didn't know that I didn't include? Let me know in the comments down below. Join the Star Force 1 Discord server, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.